Today I am excited to have Sarah McKinney here from AMP, and she's just launched a new platform. I'm going to have her tell you about it. Sarah and I met in the summer of 2010 when she did some research and consulting work for me and Green Career Central. So welcome, Sarah. Great to have you here.
Thanks, Carol. Great to be here. And yeah, I mean, it's funny how life works. I'm so grateful our paths crossed, because my work with you and being exposed to the green economy map that is one of your tools for clients really gave me clarity that my passion within the sustainability space is motivating and inspiring increased engagement. And so it did lead me down this path towards becoming an entrepreneur and starting a company called AMP. And AMP is like Yelp, but it's for sustainability resources. And defining sustainability is this like ongoing conversation. And so I tend to follow that up by explaining that it's really a place to share resources that are related to social and environmental progress for people who are pushing change from within business. So we can open it up and have it more consumer focused later on, but right now we're just going after students and professionals who are interested in kind of changing business as usual to being more responsible.
Great. Yes. So the reason I was excited to see your new program is that I think it's a wonderful resource for sustainability professionals to connect with each other and also to learn in an easy way what's happening. But I also see a great value in using this site for people who are trying to get into the field of sustainability and those who are trying to up-level the career that they already have. There are some really great features and opportunities with AMP, and so Sarah and I are going to run through some of the ways that you could use AMP to accelerate your green career. So let's just dive right in. So can you tell me some of the nuts and bolts about various sections? And I have several scenarios we're going to talk about. So for the people who are looking for employment opportunities in sustainability, what resources on AMP would you recommend?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, so just backing up for a second, John, my business partner, and I, we created the categorization on AMP for content based on need states. So what are the mindsets of people coming to the site? What are they trying to do, right? Because we are the target audience. So we were like, what would we be coming here for? And for that person who is looking to get into sustainability and trying to look for work in this area, a few different categories jump to mind. There's an entire vertical that's called Accelerate, which I think is a great place to start. There's subcategories for job boards and career services. I also think if they head on over to Get Started, they can just navigate and get to know the space a little bit, you know, find talks that inspire them. You know, where do they read news? There's so many newsletters you can sign up for in the space. Which ones are good? So that's kind of a helpful place to just start. And then, you know, one of my mentors has said to me, the best way to, you know, get to where you want to go is to start hanging out with people who already have what you want, right? So there's a vertical that lists different events, workshops, conferences that are focused on social impact and environmental responsibility. So I think any of those places can start to get you excited. The last thing I'll say is that rankings, so all of these different magazines come out with, you know, green company rankings each year. And so we aggregate those lists, and that could also help inform, okay, who's really progressive in this space, and maybe hone your search to those companies.
Yeah, and it's really a great place to just start plugging in, to get familiar with what's out there and then find the resources and the directions that you want to explore in more depth.
Definitely.
So then for those who are trying to gain traction as an entrepreneur, a topic that's near and dear to your heart, I know,
Yes.
Where would you suggest that they look on AMP?
Yeah, well, it's funny because when I first started, you know, working on this idea, it began as my final project in grad school at Presidio Graduate School in San Francisco. And then as I started pursuing entrepreneurship and being a social entrepreneur, although I argue that term should just go away because all business should be socially responsible, you know, the categorization started to expand, and I was like, oh my God, like, where do you find who is having a prize or competition for entrepreneurs that are, working in this field. Where do you go to find out all the accelerators and incubators and impact investors and VCs that are more progressive in their mentality and willing to wait and for the long game, right? They're not looking for that like 10x return right away, but they're willing to invest in companies that are more linked to social mission. And so that is all available in categories on AMP. And then there's also a vertical called Connect, where you can go and you can find all of the entrepreneurial hubs where people like you are aggregating to have conversations and share resources to push for progress. So also events that are targeting social entrepreneurs, but there are a lot of resources there because, again, it hit a pain point for me, so I'm trying to help others avoid all of the Google searching that I needed to do.
Yeah, and it really sounds like it does multiply your impact to be able to go into one resource and find all of those things at one time. That definitely wasn't available when I started Green Career Central.
Yeah. I mean, and that was really why we created this site, is that we witnessed so many people around us wasting time searching for resources, and then when you land on a resource online, whether that's a link or a company or a document that you find online, it exists in a vacuum, so there's really no way to be able to trust the quality. So with AMP, we're really trying to it's an efficiency play. We're trying to help give people faster access to the best resources out there, and then reduce the duplicated efforts and conversations that are happening right now, oftentimes behind a closed wall, right? Because only a certain number of people can attend events that are expensive to attend, and that's where a lot of the conversations are happening, saying, who do you use for your advertising around sustainability, and those types of questions.
Yep. So for somebody who wants to move into a new area or a new topic within sustainability, how would they get more information about how that particular sub-area of sustainability works?
Sure. So we have a vertical that's called Find, and that is really for sharing documents, right? So if you're looking for a white paper, a report, a case study, data that is specific to maybe proving the business case for sustainability, finding data to support that that's relevant and that's current can be challenging. So that vertical is helpful if you really want to dive in and go deeper. But I also think that if you are looking to increase your visibility and you're already working in this space, whether you're an independent consultant or you have a vendor-based company, so service-based, right? Like whether you're providing legal counsel to benefit corporations, let's say, or you focus on accounting and finance-related issues for social businesses, you can add yourself to AMP, and then we'll promote you throughout our social network. So it ends up being a really helpful platform for you to increase your visibility, and then a central destination where you can aggregate testimonials from your clients. So that can be another way to use the platform if you're already working in the space and you're looking to either kind of pivot slightly or to increase your visibility and gain traction.
Yeah, so let's talk about increasing visibility, because I definitely see that as a huge benefit. By being an active user of AMP, you really can increase your visibility within the field. Yeah. So talk to us about how somebody would increase their visibility.
Yeah, sure. So one of our passions was that the site be totally open access to browse. So you can go there and not create a profile, although that's not what we want you to do. We want you to get really involved, but you can go and you can have access to everything that's on AMP without creating a profile, because I get very frustrated when I'm required to sign it before receiving some sort of benefit. And but the way to start increasing visibility is to create a profile, and then every time you share a resource, rate or review a resource that already exists, your profile picture shows up on AMP, and that's one way that you can kind of start getting your name out there. We also have influence points that you accrue as you engage in all those activities, which then are another way for you to demonstrate kind of your influence within this sector.
So just to review, you can post a resource, you can review resources that are already there, and you can rate them by clicking on the number of stars.
Yes.
Those three, correct?
Yeah, sharing, rating, and reviewing. And you can also, there's a forum, so you can start a conversation.
Great. So you could ask a question or engage people in a topic that is due for a conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, and then I remember another conversation we had where you talked about using your own profile dashboard as a tool for yourself with your favorites and things like that. Can you talk about that a little?
Sure. Yeah, there's when you create a profile on AMP and you click your profile picture, it takes you to a dashboard view that's a way for you to quickly see anything that you've clicked favorite to that is on the platform, and then everything you've shared. So it becomes kind of a an organizational tool for you to track the resources that you are using and that you believe are helpful. And for me, that's very helpful because otherwise you're just bookmarking stuff and you often kind of forget. And this way you can actually apply keyword tags and filters and more quickly find the things that at one point you felt were exciting. Right.
And so when other people click on your profile to read your summary, do they also see what you've posted?
Yes, yeah, they can see. So if I know that you're an influencer in the space, which you are, I can go to your profile and I can see all the resources that you've shared because I know that you probably have a good opinion to contribute to the resources you're sharing. So that's another way that you can kind of navigate the site experience.
Yeah, so for people who are trying to manage their online presence, which anybody who is in a career should be doing because people search, recruiters search, potential employer search, your networking contacts search. So when they see you, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
And to be able to see the quality of what you post and how you review them, that's all adding to your own credibility, which can help make connections for you.
Down the line. Yeah.
Down the line, absolutely. So it sounds like you're pulling together a fascinating group of people. And so we just talked about this using the profile. When you click on their picture, you can see their profile. And as I understand it, the people who are creating their profile have the opportunity to put in their social media links.
Correct, correct. Yeah, so if I clicked on your profile and you had already added your hyperlinks to LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook, I can connect with you that way outside of the AMP environment.
Okay, great. So if you see somebody you're interested in, that's the way to connect up with them. And there is as long as they've input that information, there's a clickable way to do that.
Exactly.
So we're coming to the end of our exploration of AMP. Can you tell us how to get started on AMP?
Can you repeat that? You just cut out for just 1 second.
Oh, so sorry. So can you tell us how to get started on AMP?
Yes. So just go to ampyourimpact.com and browse resources and then create a profile and start sharing, rating, and reviewing. That would be awesome. We've been live for, I think, just over a month, and we're getting a lot of great traction, but we're excited to introduce it to more people who can find it valuable and also start contributing to this massive library of great resources out there that are pushing us towards a better future. So thank you so much, Carol, for making this happen today. I love the work you're doing with Green Career Central, and I couldn't be a bigger advocate. So I really appreciate the opportunity to connect with you.
Well, thanks, Sarah. And for those of you who've just listened to this, if you found this to be valuable, please share it on your social media so that we can get the word out to more of the people who are trying to create a better world. That's what Sarah and I are both passionate about, so we appreciate your help. So thanks so much, Sarah.
Thank you.